Tonight's Senate talks on hold, and now House Republicans announcing there will be no votes tonight. So what is the Senate's next move? Republican Senator John Thune joins us. Do you have any clue what is the next move?
Well, I mean, the House is going to, I think, go back and huddle up again and figure out what they might be able to pass. The Senate, there are discussions that continue to go on there. We're up against the clock, as you know. The hours are ticking away. But I think we'll get there, and it really is.
You are an optimist, because I tell you, I've been watching the meetings for the last 5 days, including over the weekend. Everyone comes out and says, "What a great meeting we had!" And look at us tonight. The Congress surprised itself, saying no votes. They obviously don't have the votes. They're getting some heat from the Heritage Action, apparently, and you guys don't have anything.
Well, I mean, we don't have anything that's ready to vote on yet, but there's been a lot of work that's been done by members on our side and some Democrats as well in the Senate. And you got the leaders still talking, and in the House, we kind of let the House make the first play this time, and they had ball control there for a minute. If they don't send something over, obviously the Senate will react in due time. But everybody realizes that we're up against the clock. I mean, you're getting to kind of critical mass point here, and I think that we'll figure it out. But it's not going to be something that many of us like.
Can you give me a hint what's like? Because I mean, even Chad Perkham, who works with one of my colleagues here, says that it's, he says the picture up here is honestly as fuzzy as I've seen it in 20 years of covering Congress. So can you give me a little hint? What do you think?
I think it gets
happen?
harder, Greta, when the Democrats won't take yes for an answer. There have been so many things that have been discussed here in the past few days, and you heard Senator Reid, the clip that you showed, get up this morning and denounce some of those things as extremists. Those are things that the Democrats a few days ago would have agreed to. The president has struck a really hard line. You almost get the impression that they're more interested in the political advantage than they are in the solution here.
I don't understand Senator Harry Reid's strategy. I mean, he calls extremist Republicans, which probably isn't very helpful to Speaker Boehner to have the Senate Majority Leader insulting part of his House. And then he's saying that he's deeply disappointed with Speaker Boehner. Then you've got Leader Pelosi saying they're deeply disappointed with Boehner. I mean, they're almost trying to undermine any possibility he has to sort of corral the troops and get something out of the House. Right. I mean, they keep taking a slap at him.
Well, they do, and Pelosi described it as sabotaging, the work that they were doing today.
Barbara Boxer said that they were like spousal abusers.
Right, and it is, and it's that kind of language is not productive, it's not constructive, it's not helpful. And I think what you've seen happen, at least today in the Senate, is basically they're saying, well, House of Representatives, you blindsided us because you actually decided that you wanted to try and move some legislation through that body. Which I think struck most of us as, gosh, isn't that something that the House is supposed to do? Why would you feel blindsided when the House is doing the very thing that the Constitution that they're supposed to be doing? So, it is, and I think that type of rhetoric, the inflammatory rhetoric that's being used by the Democrats right now, makes it harder for Boehner to get the votes in the House.
What is it that you think Senator Harry Reid would like to see as put on the Senate floor? I mean, within reason, what does he think could pass?
I think that Reid would love to see anything that's, they would love to see a year extension in the debt limit. I mean, that's where they are.
Past 2014?
They want to get past 2014. They'd like to raise it $1 trillion. And of course, in the end, when we get past this immediate crisis and we start talking about the bigger picture, what they want is $1 trillion tax increase, and they want to break the budget caps, which are both law. And those are things that Republicans are like, look, we passed the tax bill last year. Those rates are locked in now. The Budget Control Act locks in the spending levels. That's what the Democrats want in the long run. Now, we hope when we get past this immediate crisis that we have an opportunity to talk about what we're going to do to put the country on a more sustainable fiscal path, which means reining in out-of-control spending. It also means putting measures in place that grow the economy and create jobs.
Well, what I hope is that any sort of deal that's reached is that it doesn't expire after the midterm elections, so that the American people have a chance to evaluate it and vote accordingly, whether they like it or hate it or whatever. But any deadline that goes past the midterm elections, to me, is suspect.
Well, the Democrats want a long-term debt limit extension. They want a short-term continuing resolution because they don't want the sequester to kick in on January 1.
Senator, thank you. We'll be watching. There's so much happening. Anything could be happening. In fact, while we're talking, anything could be happening. You just never know.
Very fluid. Thanks,
Very
Greta.
fluid. Thank you, sir.